Am I live? Am I live? Okay. Am I? I guess I am. Thanks for the warning, Christian. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the State of the Market. I finally have my day for State of the Market. Finally. How's everyone doing? So today we're talking about pitchforks, and pitchforks work at any time frame. And with 0DTE, we're always looking at the 5-minute. Now I want you to use your 5-minute pitchforks when you go to enter a trade and when you go to exit a trade. Here's SPX this morning. On our 5-minute pitchfork, held open right down to our support. This red line is a median line on the daily. But on the 5-minute, held support, rallied to the median line, held that median line's rolling lower. And now with the gaps, we always know with the gap, close the gap, and then it has to make a decision. That's resistance up there. But see how nicely that works out on the 5-minute. Let's talk about pitchforks. Hey, LYG, I know who you are. I can never pronounce your name, though. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Since I'm not on State of the Market too often, I'm Leisha Leslie. I am the chart analyst at OptionPit. That's what I use for my trading strategies. I like reading the charts. I like relying on pitchforks and candles. Japanese candlesticks are my forte for looking for trading opportunities, trade setups. So what's a pitchfork? A pitchfork is a charting tool that anyone can draw, super easy, generally shows you where a stock has gone and where it's going to as it trades through those ranges, up and down. It'll trade through a channel that the pitchfork has created, which gives you guidelines on support and resistance, points out pivot places, meaning a change in trend could be here because there's resistance. A change in trend, the stock could bounce from here. It's been sold off. There's support down here. Let's see what it does when it hits this support. All those changes in the trend are what I find to be great trading opportunities, great trade setups. And the pitchforks also provides you with a price target. Now you just pull up a chart, any old chart that, you take away your pitchforks and a blank chart, you pull up a chart, okay, I have my moving averages in there. Those are support and resistance levels. Always add as a chart analyst, add what you see. This is in an uptrend. There's my uptrend. Oh, look how nicely gold held that yesterday. GLD's on my list, guys. So a blank chart, yes, I see that. I see, and most people anyone that uses charts can see this, but you see where the previous highs were, couldn't bust out of that. That's a significant resistance, significant support, right? The pitchforks, on the other hand, give you even more information. They give you even more places to become a buyer or become a seller. Now look how beautifully gold futures traded down. Remember, as I always say, the close is more important than the intraday. And gold was on a sell-off after a nice dark cloud covered candle at the median line resistance and at the previous highs. That's a load of resistance there. If you were long gold, this is where you're going to exit. I'm approaching the median line. This is where I take my money. I wrote it up here. That's where I'm taking my money. Now I have a bearish candle, some spinning tops, bear flagging. I know it's going lower. Last time it traded down to this pitchfork, it was a lower price, but it held. It held. And look how nicely the pitchfork coincides with that uptrend line. It's a beautiful thing. You have two places of evidence that are showing you that is support in the gold futures, and it managed to close over that that 50-day moving average. Huge. That tells you, and of course, as always with Option Shopper, we wait for the confirmation before hopping in. Same idea here. Traded, not violated, no one likes that word, but traded below that support level. That held the previous day here, right? Held the support there the previous day. Maybe what's going to happen the following day. This, like I said, this is why you always wait for confirmation. This looked like it could have been a buy here, right? No, you got to wait for the next day. And even the next day, you're not going to catch the very bottom. For my style, I'm not looking to catch the bottom. I'm looking to catch that change in trend. But I want to know that it's happening. I wait for the price to reveal itself to me. We have a beautiful change in trend hammer here off the pitchfork that held last time. Now we're back into the previous pitchfork. Gold, once it clears this 21-day, it's coming back up here. And look how beautifully that horizontal resistance lines up with our pitchfork resistance. So it may take until next Wednesday for gold futures to hit here, but here's a very nice price target. That's what the pitchforks give you. They give you a trade setup. You're trading back in here. This is looking bullish. Held support once again. Again, the close is always more important. During that trading session yesterday, the bears had some control. They created that lower shadow, but we managed to hold the support and close over it. And like I said, that trend line and the pitchfork gives you that extra added confidence. This could be a really good trade setup here. And like I said, GLD, once we clear the 21-day, which it's held here, was able to slice through, but then was resistant. So you do want to wait for it to clear that. But here you go. The combination of that previous high that it could never close over, traded over here, but could not close over it. Close is always more important. That combined with our pitchfork channel. Now that the stock is back into our channel, there's an 80% chance statistically, physics-wise, with the way these are created, drawn, that the stock is going to trade to the opposite end of the channel. All kinds of great bullishness there. Great arguments for a good trade setup to go along gold futures or GLD, right? Now you have, with adding the pitchfork, you now have direction. You have a trade idea. You have confidence by the evidence showing you that there's bullishness, right? And you have a price target once you enter. And remember, always have your trade plan in place before you enter the trade. And when you're going to enter a trade, you go to your 5-minute, right? Look how well our pitchfork is honoring the 5-minute on SPX here. Honored it here. Provided support here. Remember, old support is always new resistance. Sure enough, support here till it wasn't. Now, when you know it revisits there, it could be an opportunity to sell it. And you have a perfect stop loss. Once it closes above that, you're out. It failed. But support, resistance, blew through the median line there, held support, held support. Again, back to the median line, blew through, came back, revisited. That's one of the rules, and it was support. Now we're just trading in between this channel. As a day trader, with your pitchforks, you can buy it here and sell it here. Nice, quick profit. More than one pitchfork can work, but when you see, once you draw your pitchfork and you analyze how well it's been honoring the levels, you know you have a good pitchfork. And you know this is good support because there's your median line from the daily. Our daily pitchfork. As I said, they work daily. Pitchforks work any time frame. Daily, monthly, weekly, any kind of time frame. So here's my older pitchfork and SPX. As you can see, worked pretty well. Not always perfect, but worked pretty well. Paused here at the median line. Previous high was some resistance. Now we've traded outside the pitchfork, right? We're in new territory. We are in new territory. I can't go back in time and find where was the previous high because these are new highs. So what do? I draw myself a new pitchfork. And when you have ascending, you're going up, you're going to grab a low, a high, and a low. Now, you're not going to learn all this in the 30 minutes we're going to spend together, but as you can see, look how well this pitchfork worked. Followed this channel. If you're long from down here, you know it's marching higher. You can hang on. As soon as you break down, now you have bullish engulfing. You know you're going higher. Once you get that confirmation, look at the gap. The gap opens and right there on our support level. You catch that in the morning, you ride that higher. You catch that, there's your bullish engulfing, there's your confirmation. There's no reason to go short here, especially once you cleared the top of the pitchfork there. They give you the guidance. They give you the price target once you enter. You should always know where you're going to exit. They help you build your trade plan. Pitchforks, they're awesome. They are awesome. And those of you out here, put example up. Yes, Sunset, I will give you an example. Let me catch up on chat real quick here. Good morning. Who out here, Fabuloso, that's hilarious. Who out here uses their pitchforks? I know in 0DT, we have some day traders that use the 5 minute to help leg in and out of their butterflies. Metis Trader found analysis very helpful. Valuable organization. Yes, exactly. It's a really great visual. Awesome. Explain why specifically using the 21-day in gold. I use 2150 and 200. That's another conversation though. Vicky loves a pitchfork. Thanks, Vicky. Yeah, let's draw a new pitchfork. Give me something, give me a random stock we don't have a pitchfork in. Well, let's see if I do this. Okay, NVIDIA, I have a big, older pitchfork. Let's remove it. Now, we see NVIDIA here sideways. In a sideways action, I want my handle to be between my other two pivots. You go over here on the left, grab pitchfork. I see a high, a low, and a high. That magnets. This magnet helps you grab the actual high, low, high. So there you go. Now you only can. How valid is my pitchfork, right? Let's take a look. You have to take it from your third pivot point. And from there, yeah, it held this gap. gapped right down to the support there, held the support there, retested the high there at the top of the channel, couldn't close above it. Again, couldn't close above it. Whoopsie. Not perfect, but here, held resistance. You knew once you traded below there, your median line supports down here, came back up to the top of the channel, was resistance, could not close above it. Here is very interesting. Without saying this, you have a bearish candle on this sell-off right down to the median line, closing below the median line. So this day on the close, you're thinking, okay, this is going lower. Here's my support down here. I have old support just from that low. Lines up fairly well with my pitchfork support at this time back here, which we like to see. That's like double the evidence. But then look what happens. Almost always, one of the rules, you zoom through a support resistance level, almost always it comes back to revisit it. And sure enough, you get a beautiful belt hold candle, bullish piercing. Actually, this is bullish piercing because it goes into that previous candle. Closes above the median line. Okay, now we got something going on. Is this a change in trend? I'm at a support level. I closed above that support level. Now I have to wait for my confirmation. Again, it comes back to retest it. And then you get your rally. Again, it comes back, holds the median line again. Held that resistance up there at the top of the channel. Revisits, go long here, go short here. Until you, take your money here and then go long here again, right? You have, once you clear a support resistance level, you have an 80% chance of trading to the other end of the channel. They work. Pitchforks work wonders. Yes, we can look at BSY. I don't think I have a pitchfork on BSY. Thank you for calling that one out. I don't have a pitchfork. Again, what do you see? You see pure trend higher. Here's trending sideways. So that sideways, I'm going to go back in history just to kind of see what it looks like, right? That doesn't do me much good. That didn't do me much good. Let's see if now, high, low, high, low, high, low. You're choosing spots where the stock pivoted, changed course, rolled over, bounced higher, right? You got a low, a high, a low. You got to play with it a little. What lines up well? Well, that lines up pretty well, but doesn't really last long, right? But take a look. You know this is good because look at that resistance there. For how long is that? January 10th through February 19th. Over a month, the stock could not break through that resistance. The Japanese call this a box range. You don't trade it here unless you're selling options. When you see this consolidation, you do not buy options here. You sell them. Again, so could not break through there. Once you break out past those lows, which were support, you get your move. You get your move lower. Now look at this. We're back to that pitchfork. Now you can draw a parallel channel. You can add another pitchfork to show how low it would go. You'll learn all that. You'll learn all that on the Pitchfork Masterclass. Now look at, we're back to that pitchfork. Again, resistance. The moving average helped you out, and there you go. Go long here. And sure enough, look where it's stopping. It's stopping at the top of the channel. So BSY, never looked at this stock before in my life. Don't know it. Bentley Systems. We got a pitchfork. We have a pitchfork in motion that we know is valid just by this action, and this action. Now the stock needs to make a decision, right? So if you got long here, take your money, even take your money here and re-enter. You got to have a trailing stop, take money, roll into another option. Take your money off the table, but you have an 80% chance it's going to trade up here. Now you are at resistance. What do? You watch for a change in trend. Is it going to blow through here? Is it bull flagging here? Once it closes over this resistance, it has an 80% chance of trading in the median line. That's way up at 58. $4.50. Really nice move on the options, right? You could go back over here. Your horizontal line is, you blew past that. That's now support. You use that as your trailing stop. Good one. Good one. Thank you for showing me that. Now, let me show you. Pitchforks came from hand-drawn chartists in the 30s. 3 guys. Babson called the crash at 29. He was literally giving a speech, and he gave the warning. Pitchforks are named after Alan Andrews. They call him Andrews pitchforks. I learned them because after my son was born, I went back to work when he went to school, and I went and traded commodity futures. I forgot to talk about myself again. So I traded on the trading. I was on the SIBO in college clerking for many years. It was very difficult to get on a seat as a woman. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, I managed to trade in the pit 92 to 03 when my son was born. I left, which was great timing because everything became electronic trading. So it was good timing. I left with my money. It was awesome. But then when he went to school, I wanted to do something else. I went and tried to trade commodity futures. And all those guys in that office used pitchforks and technical analysis to trade futures, because futures, you were just buy them, sell them, buy them, sell them. I wasn't trading options. So you needed that guidance on these charts. And it's pretty cool. The charting is cool. I never used it when I was an option trader. We just, like Andrew says, we read the tape, right? Because we were sitting there watching it all day. We read the tape. When you're a retail trader, you need that guidance. You need something to tell you, here's an opportunity. Take your money. You hit your price target. Set up the trade plan, the chart. It's all there in the chart for you. And the pitchfork will guide you and show you those trade setups. Anyway, that's how I learned it. Now I left that and moved to the suburbs, and then I met Mark and the rest is history, as they say. So Alan Andrews used pitchforks and worked for Joseph Kennedy. We know how wealthy he was. He made him $450 million using pitchforks in 18 months. And then this George Marshall. Now, all these guys were wealthy. They knew the presidents, all that stuff. You know, they were the elite Washington people. FDR asked him for a 15-year forecast on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And look at what the man came up with. Here's the Dow, what it did, and here is his forecast. To me, that is amazing. Amazing. 15 years out, using the pitchforks, he pretty much nailed it on his chart. Again, drawing a pitchfork, you'll learn in the master class. You have to play with it. You pick the pivot points, high, low, low, depending if you want ascending, descending, and you line it up. Does my pitchfork, is it being honored? Tell me if it's, you take a look at it, create new ones once it trades away from it. They're the best charting tool, I think, that's out there. Again, providing you opportunity setups and exits for your trade plan. It's so important to have a trade plan. So a couple examples where we've used the pitchfork. Option Shopper the other day, we bought FTNT calls on the 23rd and sold them on the 25th. I paid $267 and we sold them at $4. A nice 49% gain in 2 days. Here it is on the chart. It's kind of hard to see there. Here it is on the chart. Held this pitchfork support, busted through. We had our downtrend line. Any evidence you can find on the chart to show you blew through the moving averages, which will be resistance, we got long. And we were able, I think we went in on Monday and came out on Wednesday with a 49% gain. Now, as I said, this is just consolidating here. You still have the support of the moving average. Today's a pullback day. Gotta watch it. But there is an 80% chance that FTNT is going to trade back up to our median line. Now, the previous high will be resistance. So that's my price target. We re-entered. Yesterday, we re-entered this on this bullishness, cleared the previous highs. The market overall is having a little bit of a pullback. So FTNT is also. So we got to watch. We have our stop loss in place. We have to watch. But remember, there's an 80% chance it's got to clear 108.68 and then onto the median line up at 111.5. I like FTNT. Again, watch that it holds this whole area. That's on my list. We re-entered. It's 80% chance of trading back to that median line. Another example. Oh, here, yes. There's still room to the median line, so I re-entered. We bought the 105 calls for July 18. In small account challenge, I use the same setup, same pitchforks, all that. We bought SMCI July 11, 46 half calls on the 25th. And sold them on the 26th. Okay. I'm back, I think. Yes. Am I back? Sorry about that. We had a storm. this morning here, so my internet could be. Okay, great. Again, I was saying SMCI bought it here. We had our confirmation. We know there's an 80% chance of trading to the median line. We took our money. We took our money then because it was the next day. And where am I? Here we go. It was the next day. We paid $263, sold them at 4.25 for 61% gain. Take your money when it's the next day. But now you still have, if I had, we only, for small account challenges, small accounts, so we only bought a one lot. If I were doing for something else, or if I had a larger account, I would buy two, and I'd be hanging on to my second one because we have an 80% chance of it trading to 53.60, 53.5. SMCI, add it to your list as a bull flag here. Use a close below 47. It should be going to 53. That's a good one. MACD is still bullish. RSI is trying to trade a little lower, but again, wait for some bullishness. The overall market's trading lower. Oh, we're popping a little here. Where's my... Look, our 5 minute. Our 5 minute held again. Guys, this is literally happening in front of our very eyes. The support of the pitchfork, the resistance of the pitchfork. Think about, you could trade scalp. If you're a day trader, back and forth, buy it here, sell it here, buy it here, sell it there. One trade, short, another trade, buy it again, sell it. They work. They work. I think I have one more example. And small account, we bought Hallie. Of course, I had to pull this one out because it was a big one. We bought Hallie calls, the June 27s, paid 62 cents on the 12th, and sold them on the 13th, the next day. Let me show you what that looks like. This is when crude was moving. I knew crude was moving because I was watching the crude futures. Same thing, pitchforks on there. Here it is. There's the 11th. We bought it on the 12th. We are in our support, right? Look at how well that pitchfork support held down here. Several days in a row. Support. It trades to the opposite end of the channel. Old resistance is now new support. Bought it here. Nice pop the next day. Sold them here. Didn't quite trade to the median line, but hell, I don't need it to. I did not need it to because we were in for 104% gain. We paid 63, we sold them at 129. I'm going to take the money the next day, all day. And again, you can re-enter, right? Well, I would have not re-entered this because you're almost there. I like to have a nice room I'm not going to put a trade on to make, for the stock to move 50 cents. We all know that. Now look at this small spinning tops here, looking like it wants to trade down here, 19.5. Anyway, so those were examples, real life examples, and my services. Again, I trade ideas using the pitchforks. I think this is going to hold, and 80% chance it's going to trade up to the median line here. FTNT, gold. We talked about the gold futures. Do not trade GLD without looking at the gold futures. These are going to be ready to hop into this afternoon and take it up to 34.54. When you look at GLD, though, it's all spotty. It's all spotty, but look, it did hold. It held our support level. Look, it still works on the pitchfork, the median line. It'll do one of three things. It will honor it, it will zoom through it, or it will consolidate around it. You're going to learn all that in the Pitchfork Masterclass because I know you're all going to join. It's half price this weekend, right? Gives you something to do this weekend. We have a super long 4th of July weekend. Watch the Pitchfork Masterclass and you can start using them on Monday. They're awesome. I'm telling you. Okay. So I had for FTNT Gold Tempest yesterday. See, I wrote these last night. This is why we wait for confirmation. I put TEM on my list because held support, traded that channel, held resistance, support, now resistance, support. Again, the median line was tested. It worked again. Now, yesterday, I was looking for confirmation today. A Harami candle, possibly. I wanted something to hold this support. That's why I don't hop in just because it traded there and stopped. You need to wait for your confirmation. Now, today, it's failing our support level on the Pitchfork. It's holding the 50-day. Now, what do I do in a case like this? I need that price to reveal itself. I needed to show me that it's going to bounce here. So first of all, I needed to hold and close above the 50-day. But not only that, I needed to trade back up into my Pitchfork here. Once I get it closed back up into this Pitchfork, and I would probably wait to clear the 21-day, and then I'm going to write it up here. That's almost 74. That's $12. Well, it'll be down here, so it'll be 66.5 to 74. Great move. But right there, it gives you a stock. Add it to your watch list. You should have a watch list. Option shopper. If you buy the Pitchfork Masterclass, you will become an option shopper for 1 month. It's included. This would be on our watch list for good reason. Now we have to wait for it to pan out and show us. Now, if this fails, what do? We draw a new Pitchfork. Well, how low can it go, right? If it fails the 50-day, we know the 200 days way down here, 53.10. We add a new Pitchfork. It's going lower, so we take high, low, high. And there you go. It's already honoring. Already. See that? Already honoring the new Pitchfork. That's giving you the direction. Now it's failing this resistance here. It fails the 50-day, the 200, and the median line. Great support. We could and the previous lows. Look how beautifully that lines up. That's a price target now for Tempest. 54. That's a good $7. $6. That's a great option trade there. We wait for the confirmation to close below the 50-day, and then we write it down. It's already in our new channel. Add it to your list, right? It's awesome, guys. Now we're failing the support here. Our opening will be support, lines up really well with our daily median line, but then below there, 61.80 as support on SPX. Okay, my other PLTR, another one. Everything's down a little today, so PLTR, very interesting. Just kind of flirting around the median line here. Now this looks like not a lot, but these are big moves. This one, it was down $10 here. Those are big moves, but honored the top of the Pitchfork here several times, blew through 2 days ago. And what's our rule? It comes back to visit it. And check it out. Yesterday, it came right back to visit the median line. It's a magnet. And you have the 21-day. So last night, I'm looking at this chart. I'm thinking, this is a Harami candle. It's negating this bearishness. We're back above the median line. This is going to turn right back around. Give me some confirmation today, and I'm going to ride it back up to 151. Well, This is why we wait for confirmation. It didn't happen. Now we're making new lows. But guess what? You cleared those lows. You now have a trading opportunity to trade PLTR down to 124.5 or this 50-day at 125.40. That's still $4.50, $4.40. That's a nice put trade for a couple days, right? MACD's bearish. RSI's trading below 50. It's a setup. It gives you the trade setup and your price target. What more do you want? They're awesome, guys. So PLTR, I was planning on presenting to you as a bullish trade this morning because this is what I saw last night setting up for this. It failed. It's going lower. It's going lower. Okay, what was my last one? CRM I talked about in our event last week. It's having a little hard time taking off here. It is consolidating. These are called spinning tops, but it is still holding our 50-day, the 50-day moving average. Nice place for your stop loss. I still think that you could have a little pullback here to here. You want to get out before that. So close below your 50-day. This still has so much room to run back up here. 293.87, the 200-day 297. Maybe below, even above that, you might get a stop at 279. Still, that's $7. If you're not already long in here, wait for it to clear 275 and then hop into 279 and then up here. But what a difference a day makes, right? We got it. That's what the charts tell us where they're going. The pitchforks give us the trade plan, the trade setup, the exit price, all in one package. And once you start drawing them, you become very good at it. You know where to choose those pivot points to draw it and where to add it. Okay, let me catch up here real quick. We're getting close to the end here. They do generate auto pitchforks. I've tried it. I didn't really like it. I like to do my own though. Yeah, I've tried. I think it's over here in here. I didn't like it. You can try it. I didn't like it. FTNT for 115. 111 half high, or actually this previous high, 109, 108.90. Now, don't pile in here until you get some bullishness, right? Make sure it holds these lows. So maybe wait for this afternoon how this pans out, because you might just get some more consolidation here. I might wait until it clears before hopping in again. We looked at PLTR. Okay, I'm not going to do chart requests just because we're close to the end here. It's not what we're doing today. On TOS, you can get Andrew's pitchforks. Thanks, Dawn or Vicky, whoever. Awesome. Okay. Would you use a pitchfork on VIX? VIX is a different animal. I would not. VIX is a median. VIX is a measure of volatility. It has a median level it always comes back to. So no, you just don't chart VIX. Okay. Thanks, everyone. How often do I draw a new? On my 5-minute SPX, I keep it until it doesn't work any longer. I keep it until it doesn't work any longer. Now this one, for a new one here. Now more than one pitchfork can work. You're going in a downtrend here, so I would do this. Right? Stop there. Close below, retested it. Stopped it there. Stopped it there. See how more than one pitchfork can work? Stopped it on its median line right there. Looks like we're going lower, folks. Okay. Yes, thanks, Christian. 50% off. Join the Pitchfork Masterclass. Become a Pitchfork aficionado. And you get a month of Option Shopper with that. Come and draw pitchforks with me. Thanks, everyone. Ripzone's up next. Thanks, everyone. Become a pitchfork drawer. Join the masterclass. Something to do this weekend. Happy 4th of July. Thanks, everyone. Call Drew.